And now I'll cast Golgari Troll. And in case you never saw that before, Golgari Troll will be huge. Hey folks, welcome back to my channel. This is MahfuzVanGogh, your dredge guy, and today we are back to dredge. This is blue dredge, but a completely different build with 64 cards. Why is that? Well, there is one crazy dredger on my Patreon who said that 64 cards is actually doable when you play dredge, because you can play the full 12 dredgers and you can include more, maybe enablers or maybe lands or whatever you need. So I'm trying 64 cards for the first time. My supporter plays 64 cards on Turbo Dredge, but I'm choosing to include this Loam build first, because for the first time on this channel, I will play the high number of 17 lands. Can you believe it? 17 lands on Dredge. Yeah. So we have the full playset of Cephalic Coliseum, of course, and now we are even playing the basic forest because we have the full playset of Life from the Loam. We have some utility lands, like 2 copies of Boseiju, and Syncretive Stupor is not exactly a land here. I thought for a moment about including Otawara instead, so it is something that we could grab with Loam. But Otawara in our deck, it is probably just a 4 mana bounce something, like too expensive. So I'm sticking with a single copy of Syncretive Stupor, but this is our first version of this. Playing 64 cards means that we will probably not hit everything that we need on our starting hand, but being a slower build like this will probably work in our favor, because we will have Force of Will, we have some tools to control the matchup in our lands, like Boseiju, for example, and we still have our 12 enablers, blue enablers, and the threats that we are used to love. But now we are still playing the Satoru package to try to win, because if we took a little bit longer just to have lands and trying to build here being reliable against Wasteland decks, for example, we can hit Forest, Island, and then cast Otherworldly Gaze and Life from the Loam, and then finally win on turn 4, for example, cracking 2 Cephalic Coliseums that we brought back with Loam, and we can easily win with the Thassa's Oracle combo. When building this configuration here, I know this is probably really different from what you would expect. So many new things at the same time, but this is me. I like to try to evolve the archetype a little bit, trying to test things. That's the way I do, and that's the way I create new decks. Sometimes we get amazing new decks like we did here in the past. So maybe this is something that also works. I believe that as soon as we hit our first Dredge with Tenant Satoru, game is over, because we will have so many things going on. And playing green also allows us to play hard removal spells to artifacts and enchantments. I am talking about Nature's Claim. But I also have Memory's Journey, which can be useful against Painter decks or any other graveyard deck, including Oops of spells. I think we probably have a great matchup against Oops, because we have Force of Will, we have Unmask in our sideboard, we have Consign to Memory, we have the Line of the Void. So other graveyard decks are not a problem if we are playing this. Having the combo in the main deck is a way to be fast enough to keep up the pace against other combo decks. But having Life from the Loam and more lands than usual will probably put us ahead against tempo decks as well. That's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this league with me. Click the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Every comment counts. And I will see you soon in a second. Let's do it right now. Round 1, we are paired against Joost. And this hand is not perfect. We are on the draw, so it's a keep. It is a good hand. It is not immune to Wasteland. It's important to remember that we are playing 64 cards today. So let's see. My opponent has a Surveil land and a Lotus Petal. Is this Storm, maybe? Gale's Will, yeah. So my opponent is passing the turn. We have Force of Will here and 2 blue cards. Land is good. I'll play the land and I'll just pass the turn, I think. If we need double force, this can be a Surveil land. Let's see what my opponent has. We both kept 7 cards in hand, so they might have a turn 2 here. Scouting Tarn, cracks it, Underground Sea, and Brainstorm, okay. And now LED, alright. Another LED, alright. Is my opponent going for it? Storm count is 3. Gamble, alright. Gamble resolves. Echo of Eon, so my opponent is going for it. Yeah, they had Burning Wish there. They are cracking both LEDs. They will be a bad surprise. So, Force of Will, exiting Careful Stay. And now they will cast again, but we have another Force of Will. Double Force. You had double Echo, we had double Force. So now my opponent is Hellbent with 3 mana available. We need to find something. Let's crack this for... Since we are a low on deck, I think I will grab... No, we have only... I don't have Hage Maze here. It's just another City Sewer. So let's grab it. Golgari Troll is amazing. Now we can do our own thing. Dredge 6. Oh, we even have an otherworldly gaze there. But I think at this point we'll just try to play for a win in a couple of turns, right? So I'll place a Cephalic Coliseum here, and I'll crack it. Or maybe this turn if you are really lucky to chain dredgers and find Satoru. So we'll dredge 6. We dredge 6 again. We dredge 6 again. We discard Poxwalkers and 2 Grave Trolls. A second Narco is here. We have Satoru. We don't have Dredge Return yet, but let's cast Sakabal Therapy anyways. Targeting ourselves, why not? I'll show my opponent that I don't have anything. No, okay, my opponent just concedes. Oof. Okay, so we won game 1 against my opponent, and this is an eco deck, so Leyline of the Void is good. Some Storm opponents sometimes play Leyline of the Void, but I don't think we should play such dedicated answers to Leyline, such as Nature's Claim, because now we have a couple of Boseiju in the main deck. We also have a Sink into Stupor, so we have three answers in our main deck. I'll not add anything else. My opponent is a Burning Wish deck. Consign to Memory might be good against Storm, of course. Unmasks could be also good, but can we include 9 answers? Let's see. On the draw, I think I will play without the combo. Maybe on the play I will include it again, not sure. And now I need to take 4 more cards. Maybe 1 Loam, 1 Poxwalkers. Maybe what else? I would like to include everything on the draw. Let's play super defensive. I will take 1 Breach from the deck and 1 extra blue enabler, probably 1 Brainstorm. And that's it. It's not perfect, but I'm testing this deck, so let's see if this will be good enough on the draw. This is a sweet hand, but we don't have any answers, and my opponent kept 7, so let's mulligan. Okay, we have a leyline, so no turn 0 for our opponent. Let's skip it. Narcomoeba can wait on the bottom of our deck. Oh, it seems my opponent has Leyline of the Void. 2 leylines. Okay, our single Boseiju will not answer both leylines, but we also have a leyline. Let's see. We're not favored to win against 2 leylines. We have only 3 answers in our deck. My opponent plays a Scalding Tarn and pass. We'll draw Narcomoeba, so let's play Misty and pass. My opponent corrects the Scalding Tarn for a Surveil land. This is also our plan for their turn. Okay, they kept the card on top. We want lands, and then a second Boseiju. My opponent has LED, alright, and that's it. Okay, no second land for my opponent, and no ways to get rid of Leyline immediately. Let's grab Undercity Silvers here. Narcomoeba would be good, but not now. Let's put this into our graveyard, and now we'll draw. Bridge. I think I will cast this Careful Study here. Okay, we did find a land. Let's get rid of this bridge and this Narco, I think. I'll play Tropical and pass the turn. Because if we cannot find another answer for Leyline, our best attempt to win this game is just casting creatures. And maybe finding a single Force of Will. And stick to it, trying to attack with Poxwalkers and Stink with Imps. I'm inclined to just cast Brainstorm here at the end of this turn. We don't need to do that, but it seems my opponent doesn't have mana. So let's just go to our turn first. We draw. Life from the Law. Let's start by casting Brainstorm here. I think, yeah, let's cast Brainstorm. Okay, nothing good on top, so yeah, our plan will be just cast some creatures. I'll put Life from the Law and Poxwalkers on top. Let's play Boseiju as a land, and I'll cast Narcomoeba. Unfortunately, this is our plan to win this. I pass the turn, my opponent draws. Oh, they will gamble for a land. They discarded Beseech the Mirror. Maybe it wasn't the land. So now we'll draw our Poxwalkers. Let's cast it, and we will attack with Narcomoeba. We can win this on 4 turns, but my opponent probably will have something before that. Nothing yet. All right, we'll draw the Life from the Loam. Let's cast this after attacking. So we'll deal 4 damage to my opponent. They'll go down to 14. Our single Leyline of the Void is holding this game in our favor, but let's see how much time my opponent needs to get rid of it. This could be a reliable plan if we had a Force of Will in our hand with a blue pitch. Okay, my opponent has a Veil of Summer. That's fine. This LED cannot be countered. What is my opponent doing? I'm not sure, but I'm super curious here to see what is their plan. Maybe they will cast a cantrip and... Okay, they have Chromox. So this might be a Burning Wish, sacrificing both LEDs to get some mana. Oh, another Chromox. Oh no, so they have nothing else. Oh no, this is probably something just to increase the storm count. Yeah, they have something in their hand. Burning Wish. Is this... Okay, my opponent has 6 mana. Is this the Goblin's plan? No, Beseech the Mirror. Alright, they have enough mana to do that. Another Beseech the Mirror. And because they have several artifacts, they will just win the game here. A third one. Yeah, of course, because of 3 artifacts, my opponent could chain those and win with Tendrils. We needed maybe 2 more turns to try to win this, even against Leyline. Now what? My opponent plays Leyline. I still think we should not include dedicated answers to Leyline. But my opponent's play pattern showed us that sometimes they will just guarantee a single LED in play, even if they don't have anything else to do on the same turn. So maybe including Nature's Claim is not the worst against this opponent. I don't want to... Now we have Consensus Memory being on the play, and they're so good. Maybe I can take 1 extra life from the Loam to include 1 Nature's Claim. My opponent plays Veil of Summers, so Cabal Therapy is not excellent here. Of course it is good, especially on the draw. We can have Unmask plus Therapy. Let's try like that. Now we have 5 answers to Leyline. Not great answers, but we have some answers. Let's see what we have. Okay, we have Unmask. This is a good hand. Let's keep it. We don't have Leyline, but this is disruptive. We can see what's going on with Unmask and then decide to go for a careful study or just play Missy and pass. My opponent mulligans to 6 to 5 now. Don't go too deep, opponent. We have a free discard in our hand. Oh, to 4. Maybe they are going to eco. LED plus eco. If they have an LED, it will be discarded. Okay, my opponent kept 4 cards. Those 4 cards will be free. Now, let's cast Unmask. Yeah, LED plus Game Ball. Alright. So, I think I need to take LED, right? And I think my opponent will probably play Lotus Petal, and then we can force them to destroy Lotus Petal, I mean. But on the next turn, let's grab Tropical Island here. We have our best treasure. Let's cast Careful Study. Hopefully we'll find a land. Oh, not a land, but Unmask plus Cabal Therapy. Maybe next turn I'll cast Brainstorm just to hit more lands. Or more black cards. Or both. Yeah, let's discard Grave Throw and Therapy. And pass the turn. Next turn we'll have a natural draw. My opponent plays Verdant Catacombs. Lotus Petal as expected. Will they gamble now? No. Alright. So we'll have a draw here. Force of Will is not bad. But I will cast this Brainstorm here. Maybe the right call would just pass a turn with Brainstorm and Nature's Claim, because I can cast Force of Will. But I think the odds of having at least 1 black or blue spell on top, or at least 1 land, are so high. Let's cast this Brainstorm. I will not replace that. Okay, we have a black card. Let's draw another one. Okay, another blue card. Let's draw another one. Another blue card. All right. So I'll keep... Considering this combination, maybe I don't want Nature's Claim again. Yet, I mean. I can cast Unmask here just to take that gamble. Keep Force of Will plus 1 blue card. Okay, let's put Nature's Claim plus Otherworldly Gaze on top. And I'll cast Unmask targeting my opponent here. Beseech the Mirror. Let's take gamble. Now my opponent has a useless Beseech the Mirror. If they find Dark Ritual or something, in the next couple of turns, we have a Force of Will. My opponent has a Surveil land. And since we know about Beseech, any Narcomoeba is a good draw. It's a good dredge now. Yeah, my opponent still has only Beseech the Mirror there. So we have Otherworldly Gaze on top, right? We really want an extra land to win this match. So I think I'll draw Otherworldly Gaze here. And I'll pass the turn. I'll not be naive to just dredge 6, trying to hit Narco, and then losing to a great combination of draws of my opponent in the next couple of turns. They don't want Leyline of the Void. Thank God. My opponent has Beseech and an unknown card. Dark Ritual. They are going for it. Casting with Bargain, but we have Force of Will. And my opponent concedes. Oof. This Otherworldly Gaze would reveal 3 cards. One of them I know it was Nature's Claim. And we had land on top, and then we would proceed to win this game in a couple of turns. We won. Let's go to our next match. I want to say thank you to all my patrons that you can see here on this page. Guys, you are awesome. And I can create content because of your continuous support. If you also want to help me as a content creator, please go there, check my Patreon page, patreon.com/theDredgeGuy. See you there. Alright, round 2, we're paired against KSS Waylander. This is a slow hand, but we have basically Encephalic Coliseum and Treasure. Let's keep it. Hopefully this is not a combo matchup. Plains. Hopefully not a combo matchup. Now we draw. Force of Will. Alright. I'll play basic Island and pass, I think. I could also just go to the discard phase, to the cleanup phase. Discard Golgar Grave Throw. No, let's play the Island and pass. If we feel that we really need this Force of Will here, we'll use it. But hopefully we don't need Force yet. I'll cast Otherworldly Gaze here, but I think my opponent will answer it. Oh, okay, no answers. I don't think I need those cards. I would like to keep Underground Sea, but also Cephalic Coliseum. My opponent has 2 basics. Is this a control matchup? I could keep Force of Will on top, place Cephalic Coliseum, pass the turn, then draw Underground Sea. This is so slow. Or I can just draw Underground Sea and keep Force of Will on top. Cast Cabal Therapy targeting myself. We probably don't want Sink into Stupor, but it is better than another Force of Will. So let's put Force of Will into our graveyard, and I'll keep those 2 cards on top. Now I'll draw Underground Sea. I'll cast Cabal Therapy targeting myself. Let's see how my opponent answers that. No answers, so Grave Troll. Unfortunately, my opponent will know that we have Cephalic Coliseum plus Force, but our Force is not active. So let's press F6 here. My opponent knows that we don't have nothing. We have nothing. Let's press F6 here. My opponent draws 7 cards in their hand. What can you do, opponent? Flooded Strand and cracks it. Hopefully just a generic Planeswalker, Volcanic Island. So this is a Jeskai deck. Stock up. My opponent will go big. Because of that, we'll just dredge 6 and then crack Cephalic Coliseum here. Forget about what we have on top. I'll just dredge 6. 1 Arco is amazing. Yes, I would like to use this ability. I'll play Cephalic Coliseum. We don't have other dredgers there, so we have some choices here. Drawing 3, discarding 3 here is not the worst because we have 2 therapies, and maybe we can hit more lands, or even an enabler. We can draw, for example, Brainstorm, and then Cabal Therapy my opponent, naming Force of Will. We could also grab a blue card. If I cast Cabal Therapy targeting myself, my opponent might counter it. I think I will just crack Cephalic Coliseum here for just draw 3, discard 3 days. Yeah, this was so much better because now I can discard 2 dredgers and a bridge. Yeah, my opponent just conceded. Alright, so my opponent had probably a not so good hand against us. Now, was that weird Jeskai Sneak and Show? Or maybe just the control with stock up? In both cases, Unmask is good. So let's include Unmask in our deck instead of the combo probably. I can keep Dredge Return and Thassa's Oracle just in case. Let's try like that. Okay, we have Force and we have Unmask and we have a draw spell, Loam. We need green mana, but this is a keep. My opponent is mulliganing to 6. So let's put ourselves in the center. Yeah, this is better. And my opponent kept 6 cards. Basic Island and pass. We like that. We'll draw land. Another Unmask. So let's place Cephalic Coliseum here. And I'll exile my Poxwalkers here to see what's going on. My opponent has a Spell Pierce. So I'm feeling some show and tell vibes. I will not counter that, but now I'll cast my Careful Study. We need something else to deal with this deck. Okay, my opponent will counter our Careful Study with the stock up. They have only 2 cards in their hand, but we need to top deck something now. They had 2 counter spells. They play Flooded Strand and pass. Now we'll draw Careful Study. Let's try again. Hopefully this time this will resolve. We need more. Oh, they have Brainstorm. All right. We need more lands. Any land would be good here. Oh, they have something else? Tundra? Okay, that just resolved. We couldn't hit another black card or a land, but that's not the worst. We have other obligations for next turn, and now we have a blue card to pitch to Force of Will, which is probably just Force of Will. My opponent has Prismatic Vista, cracks it. Will this be a mountain? No, just a basic island, and Narset. Do I care about Narset? I think we need to counter that because my opponent has only 1 card in their hands, so if they activate Narset to a Force of Will, it will be a loss for us anyways. So the match is tied. My opponent has more lands than us. We cast Otherworldly Gaze. Oh no. Okay, I'll have a natural draw here. I will not dredge. We could dredge here, but I don't think this is a recipe to win. We need a land. Let's draw it. A land. Yay! And now I'll crack it. Well, now it's interesting because I want to cast Life from the Low next turn. So the right call here is not... I forgot that I have Undercity Silvers instead of Hedge Maze. Maybe the right call here would be having a Hedge Maze in situations like that. But having black mana is also good. So I shouldn't crack this now, knowing that. Let's grab Tropical and pass the turn. Next turn we'll grab Loam and cast it. Or just crack Cephalic Coliseum. Okay, my opponent has a Source to Plowshares. So it seems that this is just a control deck. Let's grab Loam. We have another Narco and Bridge. Now I'll grab this single Misty here. Unless my opponent has a counter spell. No. Now I'll play it. And now I'll grab my black mana. Undercity Silvers. Another throw is excellent. Let's attack. Now next turn we will definitely cast this Unmask. We will chain Dredgers until we hit a black card. Oh, just Surgical on our Bridge. Alright. We don't need Bridge from below to win this. It is good. This is a good play. Don't get me wrong, but we don't need Bridge to win this. So we'll dredge 6. A good play that we could do here is just grabbing more lands until we can cast Golgari Grief Troll from our hand. but I don't think we'll need to do that. Let's activate Cephalic Coliseum, I mean. My opponent press F6, so far so good. Dredge, where are our black creatures? No black creatures yet. I mean, no Stink with Imp because we are not playing Golgari Thug, but usually we would have at least one Stinky. So let's discard you, and you. We have Loam. We have Poxwalkers there. Let's attack first. And since my opponent is just pressing F6, I bet they have just a useless counterspell or maybe a red card. So I'll cast Cabal Therapy, targeting them, sacrificing Narcomoeba. Poxwalkers enters. I'll name Force of Will, but it could be something like Pyroblast. Force of Will, alright. We did it. And now we'll pass a turn. I'll just press F6 here. Well, my opponent has Force to Plowshares, that's alright. Now we'll dredge. And let's grab some lands. Basic Island, Basic Forest, and Cephalic Coliseum. I'll play the Basic Island, and I'll just attack dealing 1 damage. My opponent draws, just a land, alright. This could be a Mystic Sanctuary. No, just Volcanic Island, alright. And we will dredge 6 for the last time this game. Okay, now we have 2 Stink with Imps together. I'll play Forest. I'll cast Otherworldly Gaze, Brainstorm on top. I don't think I want that. I'll cast a second Otherworldly Gaze. Whoa. Let's keep 1 Stink with Imp on top, and we'll attack dealing 1 damage. My opponent casts Stock Up. We have only 1 Poxwalkers left. Okay, my opponent has Ponder. They shuffle their library. We have 3 cards on top. Let's draw our Stink with Imp. I'll play Cephalic Coliseum here. Let's cast Unmask, targeting my opponent, exiling Stink with Imp. Oh, they have this? Alright, a modern tech. And now I'll cast Golgari Gryff Troll. And in case you never saw that before, Golgari Gryff Troll will be huge. Just a casual 7/7. It could be even bigger than that if my opponent couldn't exile several creatures. We are playing less creatures than usual because we are playing Loam instead of Thug. But a 7/7 will do the job. They have a Teferi to bounce it. Alright. And draws a card. It was a land. Come on, deck. Poxwalkers is here. So let's cast Golgari Gryff Troll again. We have Thassa's Oracle, but we don't have 3 creatures. I would definitely kill Teferi here. I don't want to be a target of a Days Undoing or something. And now we can press F6 again. My opponent... Oh, what is that? Is this for Firlingus? 3, 4, 5, 6 mana. Okay, my opponent is changing their mind. Yeah, it is cast for Firlingus. Oh, they want to draw something. They expect to draw exactly Swords to Plowshares. I see. So let's see. They will draw an extra card as a Monarch. Is it Swords? I don't think it is. We'll draw Narcomoeba. That's huge because now we will have the win for sure. I think we can attack first just to see how my opponent reacts. If they don't exile Golgari Gryff Troll, we know they don't have an answer. Okay, we steal the Monarch. We have 0 cards in our library, so we need to win this turn. I'll cast Poxwalkers. I'll cast Cabal Therapy, targeting my opponent. But it seems they don't have anything. But I'll still do the right call here, which is Spell Pierce. Oh, my opponent conceded before that. It was a Teferi. Alright. We had 3 creatures. My opponent knows that. We will just return Thassa's Oracle. So we won our second round. Let's go to our third. Round 3 are paired against gfernandes. Fernandes is a common surname here in Brazil. Maybe my opponent is a Brazilian. If you're watching this opponent, let me know if you're a fellow Brazilian. Okay, is this good enough? I don't think so. It feels nice to have so many lands, but not really good enablers here. We are on the draw. My opponent is mulliganing to 6. Let's mulligan 2. This is slightly better. At least we have 1 enabler now. I'll keep it. It's not good, but let's keep it. We can shuffle back 1 Satura. Oh, my opponent's going to 5. To 4. Oh, is this a combo deck? To 3. What? My hand is not that good, opponent. You don't need to mulligan too hard. Sometimes what can happen playing online is that people know me, and if they have some interaction with my graveyard in the main deck, sometimes they just mulligan until they find it. But this is not 2015. Sometimes we will lose even if our opponents don't have any interaction. My opponent had a mulligan to 3. We will see if this... Okay, my opponent kept 3 cards. Let's see if this is a combo deck or if my opponent was just looking for something. My opponent passed. We have Loam. Loam is good. Now what? Do I name something weird like Dark Ritual? But Loam in my hand, this will benefit from green mana if I grab green mana instead of blue here. So I'll not choose yet. Let's pass a turn. I have Otherworldly Gaze and Surveil Land available to me. Let's see what my opponent does. Now they have 4 cards in their hand. Okay, they will just pass. So let's grab... I think I'll grab green here Tropical Island, and I'll cast Otherworldly Gaze. Satoru can wait. Since my opponent's playing so slow, okay, let's keep everything into our... Let's put everything into our graveyard. Narcomoeba triggers and enters. And now I'll just dredge 6. Let's see if my opponent will answer somehow. Okay, we have a Cabal Therapy and Narcomoeba here. And Cephalic Coliseum just to grab some lands if we see that our Cabal Therapy was useless. Let's attack. My opponent is not pressing F6. Maybe they have Endurance. So I'll cast Cabal Therapy targeting my opponent. Yeah, I fear Dark Ritual or Endurance here. I'll name Endurance. Let's see. Crop Rotation. Oh, my opponent had lands. So they are just hiding them from me because they felt they would lose this. They even have Echoing Deeps there. What now? I don't have Dredgers yet in my graveyard. But I think the right call is just to grab that Crop Rotation from my opponent's hand. Yeah, my opponent had a Crop Rotation. They avoid playing the game just to not tell me what's going on. So now we'll put this Cabal Therapy, Grave Throw, and Sync Imp there. And I'll cast my second Cabal Therapy to take that Crop Rotation. Crop Rotation. Yeah, my opponent now has 3 lands in their hand. We'll pass turn. We'll probably have the win next turn unless my opponent has a second crop. Yeah, my opponent concedes. This wasn't a good way to... I mean, every strategy can work, but if you were choosing to not show what you have in your hand, just hide it, right? Concede it before because if my opponent conceded the match before that Cabal Therapy resolved, I would probably just include answers to Abzan spells, thinking that my opponent had a mulligan to 3. But now I will consider Dark Depths deck. Consigned to Memory is interesting against Bojuka Bog and other stuff. Unmask is obviously good. Dredge Retaliation Rider could work. And I'm not sure if my opponent will have Ley Lines. Let's see what we can take from our deck. At least one Satoru. I think we'll do like before. We'll keep 1 Dredge Return and 1 Thassa's Oracle, but we will exchange 2 Satorus and Dredge Return to 3 copies of Unmask. Since we have 3 Dredge Returns in total, we could try to include something else, but I'm not feeling it. Maybe we could try to win just like that. Consigned to Memory is not that good on the draw, but it can be good on the play. Yeah, let's try like that. I don't have bounce spells in this configuration. I could include some copies of Interfluid Maw if I have them. If my opponent had 0 endurances before sideboarding, they probably have at least 2 now. Okay, this is good. We don't have dredgers yet, but I trust our deck, we will find them. Let's skip. My opponent kept 7 cards this time. No mulligan to 3. Mox Diamond, resolves, discarding Talon Gates, Flagstones, and that's it. I smell Crop Rotation. Let's find the dredger, just Cephalic Coliseum. So I think I'll play it, and I'll cast Careful Study. We already have at least 1 Breach to discard. Oh, nothing too good to discard. That's unfortunate. I don't want to discard lands, so I'll discard Breach and Brainstorm. And I'll pass a turn. We have so much action, a good defense, but no dredgers yet. My opponent kept 7, but only that. Now they play Wasteland, alright. We have lands. And now it's our turn again. We have Forest. I think I will play Misty here, just hoping to fetch it for a Surveil land. Let's pass. Another Wasteland. So no, this will be just a regular island. Let's pass a turn without cracking Misty. Let's see what we draw first. Thassa's Oracle. So I'll play the basic Forest, and I'll pass a turn. Let's hold a little bit more. My opponent is not doing anything so far. This is just turn 4. My opponent is holding something. And I will still do nothing. Let's draw. Cabal Therapy. We could get Underground Sea and then cast Cabal Therapy from our hand. But I think I want a basic island here. Let's crack this for a basic island. And I'll cast a Brainstorm. Okay, that works. And this is so good against my opponent's plan of holding Crop Rotation with Wastelands forever. So I'll put Thassa's Oracle and Cabal Therapy on top. No, we have 2 forces. I think I will cast Life from the Loam here, right? Yeah, so let's put Thassa's Oracle and Cabal Therapy. No, Cabal Therapy and Thassa's Oracle on top. I'll play Boseiju, and I'll cast Loam to grab 2 lands from our graveyard. And my opponent will cast a Crop Rotation. And this is an interesting enigma for our opponent. If they cast Crop Rotation now, forget about our forces. If they cast Crop Rotation now, they will exile just 2 lands and Bridge. If they wait to cast Crop Rotation and grab Bojuka Bog with Life from the Loam there, we will have 2 extra lands. And they are trying to Wasteland our lands. So this is good. And the fact that my opponent is thinking about it makes me think that they have something. It could be Endurance, it could be Crop Rotation. We'll have nothing else there. We just have a Life from the Loam. And I think my opponent will still hold something. No? Okay, they tap Flagstones. And now they will sacrifice it for crop rotation. Let's see what they will choose with that flagstones first. All right. And we will just cast Force of Will. Exiling what? I think the Force of Will. Let's skip a Brainstorm. And we pass the turn. Because now with Brainstorm, Cabal Therapy, and Cephalic Coliseum, it's so easy to rebuild. My opponent finds Thespian Stage and pass the turn. We will Loam back. Dredge 3. Okay. Pathos Oracle is there. It was our top card. We knew about that. I'll play Underground Sea and cast Cabal Therapy, targeting my opponent here. And my name would be Crop Rotation again. Let's name Crop. Oh, 3 copies of Swords to Plowshares. All right. That's business. So I will cast Brainstorm. I don't need to cast Brainstorm now because we will not do anything else, right? But I can cast Life from the Loam since we don't have Dredgers anymore. With 0 legal targets, I'll just tap 2 green mana for that. And now I'll cast Brainstorm. And hopefully we'll find at least 1 Arcomoeba. Dredge 3. Okay, nothing there, but those are good cards. I can cast Golgar Grief Troll from my hand next turn. Let's put Bridge and Grief Troll on top, and we'll pass turn. My opponent will copy the Wasteland. That's fine. We have Loam. Nothing yet. Okay, so we'll draw. And now it is interesting. Considering that my opponent has a hat trick there, 3 Swords to Plowshares, I believe the right call here, of course, we could just crack Cephalic Coliseum, etc. But I think we will just play it, cast Grave Troll again from our hand, and immediately sacrifice it to Cabal Therapy. Let's put Bridge from Below's trigger on top. Okay, my opponent has no crop rotation. This is guaranteed. They will definitely force my both creatures here. Oh, they have a crop rotation. What? Oh, okay, I see. They will try to win the game instead. Yeah, nice play, opponent. This was a nice play. And my opponent will win because they can just copy Dark Depths and win the game here. Let's pass a turn. Yeah, my opponent had the win with that top deck because it was a Bojuka Bog or a Dark Depths to win the game. That's fine. We also have our own top deck sometimes. So we lost game 2. Let's go to game 3. Game 3 on the play. Consign to Memory is interesting here because we can counter a Bojuka Bogs or an Endurance trigger. So I think I'll include it. Instead of the Oracle plan, we'll probably not have enough tools to get there. I know it's super defensive, but we have now Force of Will, 1 Mask, Consign to Memory. Let's see. This is not a good hand. Let's mulligan. This is slightly better. I will keep it. It's too soon for Poxwalkers, I think. And let's keep Boseiju now as a way to maybe get rid of a Thespian Stage or something. We just need another green mana. My opponent has Mox Diamond, discarding Plains. And Yavimaya, okay, we have green mana. And Thoughtseize. Let's cast Brainstorm in response here. Okay, we have Dredgers. So my plan is to leave only them in my hand. Now my opponent needs to discard 1 of our Dredgers. And now they have Elvish Reclaimer. All right. Now what? Do I dredge here? Let's dredge. We have an Arcomoeba there. We have Loam there. I'll just play Misty and pass a turn. We have Boseiju in our hand. And we have Loam. This is my first time playing Loam and Boseiju against Dark Depths deck. So maybe there is something here. But I think I need to have Loam in my hand before trying something. I'll not even crack Misty here. Let's just dredge 3. Oh, my opponent will do it now? Okay. So no dredge 3 for us. Bojuka Bog is there. No problem. And now we'll draw Force of Will. So I'll play Cephalic Coliseum here. I'll cast a Sync with Imp. Oh no, my opponent doesn't have Yavimaya yet anymore. So let's crack Misty to grab basic Forest. And now I'll cast Sync with Imp from my hand. And let's start the punches. Down to 17 opponents. If my opponent doesn't draw a land, they will hold this Elvish Reclaimer forever, and we can just attack dealing 2 or 3 damage every turn with our flyers. At some point they will need to do something. And we will still have a Boseiju in our hand. Nothing yet, okay. We will draw Cabal Therapy. Not the worst. Let's attack first. I think we'll still have a window here to cast Sync with Imp and pass. My opponent has Echoing Deeps, so casting Cabal Therapy targeting yourselves is not a good play. Okay, my opponent is down to 15. And I'll just play Stink with Imp number 2 and pass the turn. My opponent will grab something else there. Just a Flagstones, of course. My opponent wants to ramp. It makes sense. Okay, no lands for our opponent. They are passing the turn. We'll draw another land. So we will attack, right? Let's attack with 3 creatures. And now it's interesting here. I think I will just cast Cabal Therapy targeting my opponent. And the name here is Swords to Plowshares. I can cast it again if my opponent doesn't have an answer. But if they cast Swords to Plowshares now, they will not be able to sacrifice Flagstones in the same turn unless they have crop rotation. I'd like to have a blue card to pitch to Force of Will here. Let's name Swords to Plowshares. One Source of Plowshares, another Reclaimer, and Endurance. Alright, so now it's interesting. If I cast Cabal Therapy targeting my opponent here, they might put that Endurance into play just to exile our single Dredger. This would be something interesting here. I think we need to force my opponent to do something, so let's do it. And if they don't put Endurance, if they don't, we will need to take that Elvish Reclaimer, that second one. Okay, so Elvish Reclaimer. We cannot let our opponent with 2 Reclaimers at the same time. This is a recipe for disaster. And now we'll play Cephalic Collision and pass a turn. So my opponent has good cards. Orcish Bowmasters and Endurance are good cards. Thoughtseize not so much at this position. If they want to take our force, they will. But I believe they want to have more lands instead of that. Okay, Echoing Dips, Copying Bodukabog, Copy. Now what? I don't think they have more than 1 Echoing Dips, hopefully. Now my opponent has mana to just cast an Endurance. Okay, they will just pass a turn. Oh, they will attack. Right. They are trusting in Endurance or Orcish Bowmasters to survive. We need to draw something good here. A blue pitch or an enabler would be amazing. Life from the Loam. So what do we want to do here? I don't have anything to destroy here, really. So if my opponent, if I do nothing, my opponent will just cast Orcish Bowmasters and then Thoughtseize next turn. If they cast Bowmasters, they will destroy my Narcomoeba. So I think I'll play into that. I'll just cast Life from the Loam for no value here, just to see if they want to cast Endurance, and I will not attack. Maybe I could attack with Narcomoeba first, but my opponent had Orc. Okay, I'll not think too much on it. This is so hard. Okay, my opponent will... Okay, Orcish Bowmasters as expected. They will hold Endurance a little bit more. I agree, this is probably the best play. We have Synchro Imp as a blocker. Oh, they will block. I'll just block the Orc. Okay, it worked. We're down to 10. It seems my opponent still doesn't have more mana, so they can't cast Endurance and Thoughtseize at the same turn unless they have another green source. But yeah, they will just pass a turn. And we'll dredge here. Oh no, maybe not. Okay, my opponent will just cast Endurance now. Not sure why. They could do it on their turn. This is not different. Oh, now we have Consign to Memory. Okay, but my opponent has a Thoughtseize there. So let's think. I'll play Boseiju as a land, right? Holding Force of Will and Consign to Memory. And I'll pass a turn. My opponent has Thoughtseize, Mox Diamond, and 3 more cards. Okay, now they have a Caracas. If they cast Thoughtseize, I will just counter it. Oh, it's other thing. Green Sun Zenith. I think I need to counter that. Paying 5. Full price. Now they will probably not cast Thoughtseize yet because of Elvish Reclaimer. Oh, they have a crop rotation. That's okay. They will just go for the punches. I will go down to 1. Now we need an incredible draw, which this is not. Yeah, guys, I think this is it. I can cast it, my opponent attacks with everyone. Unless they think we have a... No, but we cannot tap this for mana. Let's see. This is one of our most difficult matchups. And it felt like we had a chance, but it is still too difficult. Green Sun Zenith Crop and Elvish Reclaimer plus Endurance. It is too hard. Oh, my opponent is just giving protection there. If I had untapped blue source that would not cause damage, I could win this. That's so weird. Alright, we lost. Let's go to our round 4. Round 4, we are paired against xDingusKhan. And we are on the play. Oh, guys, I know this is weird, but I will keep it. We have access to our lands here. We have Force of Will. I know this is just too defensive, but this might work somehow. My opponent is down to 6 cards. I want to play, at some point I would like to play something like this, which has access to forces, Boseiju, and lands. So this is for the science. Oh, I need to do it like that. This is for the science, because now I am a scientist. My opponent plays, oh, my opponent has Thoughtseize. Okay, I will let them take one of our forces, and then we can try to hit a blue card to pitch to force. If this is a MonoBlack deck, Force of Will is really good. Pick the Grave Troll. No, they picked a Force of Will. Okay, they have more. Chromox, Duress. Alright, so Bogart Troller. This is a MonoBlack, maybe with Necrodominance. So let's grab Undercity Silvers here. We can destroy Chromox there. Or Boseiju. I don't want that. But if this is a Necrodominance deck, maybe this is actually good to have in our deck. I would say that this is something that will probably benefit from artifacts or enchantments. So let's draw. I will play Misty, and I will pass. I will not destroy Chromox yet. Duress makes me think that my opponent has... Oh, just a Doughty? Okay. So this is MonoBlack, not Necrodominance. With Duresses. So we don't have answers to Doughty. To win this, we will need to draw our single bounce spell. Let's crack Misty, that's fine. For a Tropical Island, I'll play Cephalic Elysium, and I'll pass a turn. MonoBlack is hard. Okay, and my opponent now has this. Maybe this is a Necrodominance after all. Okay, let's cast this Otherworldly Gaze. We have Sink into Stupor there. So we can bounce Doughty, but after that we don't have a plan. Maybe our plan is to cast the Sync with Imps as blockers, and then bounce Doughty Voidwalker, but then my opponent will still have mana to recast it. So let's put one Dredger there. Yeah, I don't think this is going to work, so let's keep only Sink into Stupor here. And I'll play Boseiju as a land and pass. Let's see if my opponent will cast something with the Sealer Spawn. Okay, they will attack with both creatures, and that's it. So let's bounce Doughty here and hope to draw something. If we don't draw anything, we'll probably lose. But we cannot take 6 again next turn. So what could I do here? I could Boseiju one of my own... Okay, my opponent has Soul Spike. Alright, so we will lose anyways. Yeah, this is probably a Necrodominance deck with an aggro plan B. So Nature's Claim is good, especially because my opponent probably have Leyline of the Void after sideboarding. I don't think Consign to Memory is especially good here. Unmask could be good, but my opponent will have so many discard spells. So let's put our Dreadwooden package back to include 2 Unmasks, 3 Nature's Claim. Let's try like that. We are on the play. Okay, we need more lands than that. I'll keep it. We have an answers to a possible Leyline. We have ways to deal with my opponent's cards. Let's cast Unmask first to see if we need to cast this Brainstorm now or if we don't. Okay, my opponent kept that because they have Doughty Voidwalker. Nature's Claim can get rid of Lotus Petal. So the obvious choice here is Doughty Voidwalker because they have multiple ways to get into that. But they can also cast Shieldred on turn 1, and that's hard to deal with. Let's take Doughty. And since we are pressured here, I think I will cast Brainstorm immediately. Alright, let's put 2 Grave Trolls on top. And I'll pass a turn. My opponent draws, they play Swamp and Lotus Petal and Dark Ritual. They go for a turn 1 Shieldred as expected, but we don't intend to draw cards for the rest of this game. I'd like to have another land on top, but considering Shieldred, I'll just dredge and then next turn I can try again. We dredge 6, okay? We had no lands on top, it was a careful study. Shieldred gains 2 life for our opponent. They will attack dealing 4 damage. They play a basic Swamp and pass the turn. Let's cast Otherworldly Gaze again, trying to hit a land. Okay, we have a land. It's not the land that we want, but it's the land we deserve. I'll keep it on top. Let's be patient here. We are not losing the game yet. We will lose 2 life, down to 14. I'll play this. I would keep another land on top. No, just Loam. Let's put this into our graveyard. Unfortunately, we couldn't hit green mana, but it's fine. We don't need Nature's Claim now. So next time we need to hit some Narcomoebas so we can grab our stuff. My opponent is up to 24. How many dredges do we have? 3. 4. So this Brainstorm is safe. My opponent plays Felmire. 3 mana to work with. Oh no! Alright. Yeah, this is such a bad matchup. Now we have Brainstorm and a Dream. We're not going to win this, guys. Okay, I'll cast Brainstorm into Oblivion here. Yeah, let's concede. Oh, if it wasn't for this card specifically, we maybe had a chance. But this is such a good card. Let's go to our final match. Final round. We're paired against theRealMrQ. And this hand could be good, but I'm not keeping anything that doesn't have at least a Force of Will on round 5. Those leagues are wild. It's so fun to play leagues on MTGO, but I'm always having fun, but... Okay, let's skip that. But sometimes you just feel that you don't have enough tools to fight. Let's skip that. Previous hand was also good, but as I was saying, sometimes you feel that you don't have enough tools to fight against diverse metagame like we have here. Okay, my opponent has Ancient Tomb and Lotus Petal. What does that mean? We have Careful Study. This is a good card to keep. I'll crack Misty to find, I mean. Let's grab Tropical, and I'll cast Study. Okay, so Grave Troll and Satoru. Let's keep Loam here, because my opponent might have something like Kozilek's Command. Just Lowering Revealed. Alright, so this is other deck. My opponent has Tropical Island now. They played Tropical Island and cast Spawner. Shuffles and passes. We'll dredge 6 here. We have left from the Loam there. We have untapped mana here, so is this a show and tell deck? I'll use life from the Loam here to grab you, and probably you. I think this will resolve. I think my opponent might have a Force of Will or something in their hand. So next turn we can cast Cabal Therapy and then crack Cephalic Elysium. Misty Rainforest, cracks it. Basic Island. The One Ring. Alright, so we will try to combo to win this. Maybe on turn 4? I don't think we'll have the tools to win. We have the Return in Satoru, so maybe. Maybe. Let's dredge 3. Narcomoeba is here. And we have another dredger. So let's crack Cephalic Coliseum. We need to hit 2 more creatures or bridges to win this. We dredge 5. We dredge 5. And we dredge 3. You have Poxwalkers and bridge. We might win this. Let's discard Cabal Therapy, Grave Troll, and Stinkwood Imp. 2 Narcos entering the battlefield now. The thing is, we cannot cast Cabal Therapy targeting our opponent. So they might have an answer to Dredge Return. Let's play Undercity Sewers to survey 1 extra card. Basic Island is not needed here. So let's try, right? We don't have much time, so let's try to return Satoru here. We have some creatures. Let's see if my opponent will tap the One Ring or not. Okay, it seems that everything is resolving. Satoru triggers. What is my opponent waiting for? We'll dredge 6. Narcomoeba enters. We'll dredge 6. Now we'll cast Cabal Therapy targeting ourselves, sacrificing Poxwalkers. My opponent might have an answer to our Thassa's Oracle, but we have no choice. We dredge 6. Let's name Grave Troll, so everyone is happily back into our graveyard. Now Cabal Therapy targeting ourselves again, sacrificing Poxwalkers. We already have Dredge Return Thassa's Oracle in our graveyard. Satoru triggers. We'll dredge 6. Okay, another bridge is good. I will name Stinkwood Imp. No, actually, we have imps. It doesn't matter what I name here. Name Sticker Goblin is fine. It's a fine name. And I'll cast another therapy targeting myself, sacrificing Poxwalkers. So we have creatures here. And now we'll dredge, 5? We still have forces in our deck. Let's see, Force 1, Force 2. We still have 2 forces in our deck. That's interesting. I think I'll have a natural draw here. Let's have a natural draw. Okay, just a Poxwalkers. So now I'll name Poxwalkers. Yeah. And now I'll try to win with Dredge Return plus Thassa's Oracle. I'll sacrifice Poxwalkers and 2 zombies. So I'm having 3 creatures entering the battlefield. Let's see how my opponent will answer that. The first one will be a natural draw. Cabal Therapy is not good. The second one will be another draw. Poxwalkers, alright. So now, okay, Thassa's Oracle is entering the battlefield. So let's win the game, I guess. I'll dredge 3 here. Yeah, double force there. Okay. And I guess I win, unless my opponent has... Yeah, I don't understand that. We won. My opponent didn't even tap the One Ring. So let's put Ashen Rider and the 3rd Dredge Return. 3 Unmasks are probably good. Consign to memory. I'll take 1 Satoru, 1 Poxwalkers, 1 Loam, 1 Brainstorm. Maybe I don't need 3 Dredge Returns. Whatever I hit first, I will probably take. I'll take 1 Bridge. I don't think we need more than 2 to have enough tools to win against the combo deck. And after that is difficult. Okay, let's take the 2nd Loam here and try like that. We could also take 1 of our lands. Would be a good hand with a single land or 2. So let's mulligan. Okay. Okay, I want to keep this Otherworldly Gaze, but I'll keep it. My opponent is going to 5. Let's put Poxwalkers back, I think. Hopefully my opponent doesn't have Leyline of the Void. My opponent is going to 4. Okay, no Leylines. Now my opponent plays Prismatic Vista, cracks it, for basic forest. Carpet of Flowers. That's okay, I guess. We don't even have island yet. Now blue card or land, please. Force of Will is also good. It's a blue card and a force. So let's play Unmask targeting my opponent. Exiling Stinkwood Imp. Okay, this is not a great card. Let's take Lowering Revealed, right? Which would be a land for our opponent. And I'll play Cephalic Coliseum and cast Otherworldly Gaze immediately. Okay, those are good cards for next turn. Let's put Grave Troll and Bridge into our graveyard. I will keep Careful Study on top. And we'll pass the turn. I'm still unsure about what my opponent is playing. This could be just a control deck with the One Ring and the Ancient Tombs and fast mana. It was giving me OmniTell vibes, but so far nothing. We'll draw our Careful Study. I'll cast it. I would like to draw here instead of dredge. Draw? Draw. We couldn't hit another land. I will discard Poxwalkers and Bridge and pass the turn. My opponent has Ponder and 2 unknown cards there. And I want land because I can crack Cephalic Coliseum and probably just win. It seems my opponent doesn't have lands yet. So we are both stuck with a single land. Let's draw Satoru. I'll pass the turn. And I'm doing that because I have a Force of Will. If I had no forces, this would be so difficult. But I have another Otherworldly Gaze there. A single land will put us ahead. And my opponent also has no lands. Let's draw. I'll stick to my plan. Let's draw here. Forest. This is perfect because I'm not giving mana to our opponent. So I'll cast Otherworldly Gaze now. We don't have lands to loan back, so Otherworldly Gaze is just better. Consign to memory and Dredge Return. We already have Satoru in our hand. I don't think we want those cards. I think we'll just dredge and then cast Loam. Yeah, let's put everything into our graveyard and pass the turn. I would like to have another blue card to pitch, so we could keep Consign to Memory on top, but I don't think this is good enough. My opponent still needs mana, and we'll dredge 6 now. Okay, finally, we have 1 Misty there. Let's grab it. We could cast Cabal Therapy first, right? So let's attack. Let's attack here. And we know about that Ponder. I think this is our card to be named. No answers. So our forces are still not useful. Let's name Ponder. Okay, 2 Ponders. Yeah, and this is a show and tell deck, so I was right. Cunning Wish, Atraxa, and I will just grab that Misty, but I'll not crack it yet. Let's wait until my opponent's end step to crack it. I just play it. Dredge Return is not incredibly good here, but it would be next turn. Oof. Carpet triggers again, and nothing. So we are navigating this game pretty well. No mana for our opponent. Oh, they have Ancient Tomb now. Okay, but no blue mana. Now we'll grab Undercity Sewers. We could keep that, but I think we'll probably have the win here. We know that my opponent doesn't have counter spells, so let's dredge. Another Narcomoeba is good. I see 1 Cabal Therapy there. We don't have many dredgers, only Stink with Imp and 1 Loam, but this is probably enough to win. Let's attack first, just to keep doing good practice. Let's attack before combo, in case everything goes wrong. But I think this is a solid win with Satoru combo. I'll crack Cephalic Coliseum, targeting myself, type in Undercity Sewers, dredge 5, and dredge 6, great. And now we'll discard Satoru and 2 dredgers. 2 Narcos enter the battlefield. Let's dredge return, putting Satoru in play, sacrificing 3 creatures. And I think I will hold this couple of Force of Wills for nothing, because we managed to win just taking my opponent's lands. I mean, hitting their mana with Unmask. Unmask was pretty good to win this. Satoru enters the battlefield. We'll dredge 6. Now I'll cast Cabal Therapy, targeting my opponent, sacrificing Poxwalkers. Poxwalkers enters the battlefield. We already have Thassa's Oracle and Dredge Return, so let's win. Dredge 6. Ashen Rider is also there. Dredge 3. Narcomoeba. No, I don't need Narcomoeba to win this anymore. I can name Lifetime Pass Holder, and I will just win with Dredge Return, getting Thassa's Oracle back. Sacrificing Satoru and 2 Poxwalkers. And yeah, this was a solid win. I think our deck is slightly favored against this. It is. So yeah, we had a 3-2 result. Let's talk a little bit about our deck before finishing this. All right, guys, let's talk a little bit about our deck. I think, whoa, when I take off the glasses, it is always I need some seconds to get used to again. So I think we are digging something here. I'm not sure about the 64 cards. This was my first league playing 64, but being a Loam deck with some utility lands, and even without having utility lands, just being a Loam deck to play better against Wasteland, this is maybe something that we can have in the future, because having green mana allows us to just, for example, play Loam from our hand if we don't have dredgers yet in our graveyard. Against tempo decks or control decks, this can be good. Having 2 copies of Boseiju, we couldn't see that much in this league, but having 2 copies of Boseiju here in the main deck is probably really good against Grafdigger's Cage. And almost everyone is playing Grafdigger's Cage right now. So maybe this first league here is still a small sample, and we need to keep doing that and see how Loam plus Boseiju in a dredge deck can be good in Legacy. And this is a specific metagame. Unmask was amazing, and I'm almost re-including here the 4th copy because Unmask was really good in this league. We had 2 awful matchups. The MonoBlack matchup and the Dark Depths matchup are in the worst, maybe 5 matchups that we have in Magic, in all Magic the Gathering, and we lost to both of them. But we won against everything else, so I'm excited to test this a little bit more. I know 3-2 is not that much exciting, but considering that we lost 2 bad matchups, I think this is probably a good indicator that we are doing something right. As always, if you want to see me keep pushing this archetype in Legacy, please let me know here in the comments. And if you want to suggest something here to me, I would like to read your message. So please let me know here in the comments. See you soon. Click the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment below. And see you soon. Bye.